This is a summary of Dr. Allan Schore, How Relationships Shape Your Brain, where we break down the key insights, ideas, and takeaways from this content, giving you the gist so you can decide if you want the rest. Introduction. In this episode of the Hubermanlab podcast, Dr. Andrew Huberman sits down with Dr. Allan Schore, a world-renowned expert in attachment theory, neuroscience, and psychoanalysis. Dr. Schore is a clinician, researcher, and professor at UCLA's Department of Psychiatry and Behavioral Sciences. His work focuses on how early attachment relationships shape brain development, emotional regulation, and adult interpersonal dynamics. This conversation explores how early childhood attachment influences emotional resilience and mental health, why the first 24 months of life are critical for brain development, the differences between secure, anxious, avoidant, and disorganized attachment styles, how childhood attachment patterns affect adult relationships, including romantic and professional ones, the role of therapy in rewiring attachment styles and improving emotional regulation. Schore presents groundbreaking insights into how the right hemisphere of the brain develops in response to early caregiving experiences and how this affects emotional processing and interpersonal connections throughout life. 1. How relationships shape the brain. The first 24 months, a critical period for brain development. Dr. Schore explains that the first 2 years of life are crucial for shaping the brain's emotional and social circuits. During this period, the right hemisphere of the brain is dominant and is responsible for processing emotions, nonverbal communication, and stress regulation. The quality of early attachment with caregivers shapes the development of emotional resilience, stress response, and future relationship patterns. Babies learn to regulate their emotions by synchronizing with their caregivers' facial expressions, tone of voice, and physical presence. This means that before a child can even speak, their brain is being shaped by the emotional interactions they have with caregivers. B. Right brain versus left brain in emotional development. Dr. Schore makes a crucial distinction between right brain and left brain functions. The right hemisphere, dominant in infancy, is responsible for intuition, emotional memory, social bonding, and unconscious processing. The left hemisphere, which develops later, is responsible for logical reasoning, language, and explicit memory. This right brain dominance in early life explains why so much of our emotional world is unconscious and deeply ingrained from childhood experiences. When people talk about gut feelings or intuition, they're often tapping into these deeply ingrained right brain emotional circuits shaped in early life. Dr. Schore. Attachment theory. How early relationships shape us. Dr. Schore explains that attachment is not just a psychological concept, it's a neurobiological process that shapes how we regulate emotions and relate to others throughout life. A. The 4 attachment styles. Secure attachment, formed when caregivers are consistently responsive and attuned to the child's emotions. These individuals grow up feeling emotionally secure, confident, and capable of healthy relationships. Anxious attachment develops when caregivers are inconsistent, sometimes nurturing, sometimes unavailable. These individuals tend to seek constant reassurance, fear abandonment, and struggle with emotional regulation. Avoidant attachment occurs when caregivers are emotionally distant or unresponsive. Children learn to self-soothe without relying on others, leading to emotional detachment and difficulty forming deep relationships. Disorganized attachment results from caregivers who are frightening, neglectful, or abusive. These individuals experience inner conflict, struggling with both craving and fearing closeness. Dr. Schore emphasizes that these attachment patterns are not fixed. With self-awareness and therapy, people can relearn healthier attachment styles. 3. How early attachment affects adult relationships. Hosht A. The brain reuses childhood attachment circuits in adult relationships. One of the most profound insights from Dr. Schore's research is that the same brain circuits that regulate infant caregiver bonding are later used in adult romantic and social relationships. Securely attached individuals trust easily, regulate emotions well, and maintain stable relationships. Anxiously attached individuals fear abandonment, seek excessive reassurance, and struggle with trust. Avoidantly attached individuals have difficulty relying on others and prefer emotional distance. Disorganized attachment leads to relationship instability, internal conflict, and trust issues. Dr. Huberman and Dr. Schore discuss how attachment styles influence behaviors like texting frequency, emotional intimacy, and conflict resolution in romantic relationships. If you wonder why you react the way you do in relationships, it often traces back to these deeply embedded early attachment circuits. B. How attachment influences stress regulation. People with secure attachment regulate stress well and recover quickly from emotional upsets. Those with anxious attachment tend to experience higher cortisol, stress hormone levels, and struggle with self-soothing. Avoidantly attached individuals repress emotions, leading to increased stress in high-pressure situations. Disorganized attachment is associated with higher risks of mental health disorders, including PTSD and borderline personality disorder. This means that early attachment experiences don't just shape relationships, they also affect mental and physical health. 4. Can you change your attachment style? Your attachment style, Dr. Schore emphasizes that while attachment patterns are deeply ingrained, they are not fixed for life. The brain remains neuroplastic, meaning people can rewire their attachment responses through therapy and self-awareness. A. How therapy helps rewire attachment. Secure attachment can be developed later in life through consistent, safe relationships. A skilled therapist acts as a secure attachment figure, helping clients learn emotional regulation. Therapy focuses on building emotional awareness, challenging old beliefs, and practicing new interpersonal strategies. B. The role of right brain synchrony in healing. Dr. Schore explains that therapy works best when there is a strong right brain connection between therapist and client. Synchrony between facial expressions, tone of voice, and body language helps regulate emotions. The therapist models healthy attachment behaviors, allowing the client to internalize new ways of relating. Over time, new neural pathways form, allowing individuals to create healthier relationships. Healing attachment wounds isn't about intellectualizing your trauma, it's about experiencing new, safe, emotional connections. Dr. Schore. Final takeaways. Dr. Shore's work highlights that early relationships shape the brain in ways that affect us for a lifetime, but with awareness and effort, we can change these patterns. Key lessons. The first 24 months of life are critical for emotional development. The right hemisphere of the brain processes emotional and social interactions. Attachment styles, secure, anxious, avoidant, disorganized, influence adult relationships and stress regulation. The same neural circuits used in infancy for bonding are repurposed for adult relationships. Therapy helps rewire attachment patterns by creating new emotional experiences. Understanding attachment is not just about improving relationships. It's about developing emotional resilience, better stress regulation, and overall mental well-being. That's it for this summary of Dr. Allan Schore, How Relationships Shape Your Brain. Be sure to follow us wherever you are reading this for more detailed summaries and breakdowns.